Good evening, everyone. Welcome in once again as we present our latest all-new edition of the Milford Informer. I am Milford TV's Executive Director, Tim Coet. Well, here we are wrapping up the month of August. The kids went back to school this week, and just like that, another summer has just flown by. Hard to believe, but we are about to head into a busy fall season of event coverage here on Milford TV, including a return of our high school sports coverage. We'll have a little bit more on that in just a little bit, but we want to lead off the show this week with a series of interviews related to the primary elections, which will be taking place across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts next week on Tuesday, September 3rd. And one of the races involved in this primary ballot is that for Governor's Council. This is a race that can sometimes fly under the radar, with not a lot of people in the area necessarily educated on what exactly the Governor's Council is and what they are responsible for. And so we had an opportunity to receive a series of interviews for several of the candidates that will be on the primary ballot for Governor's Council. Those interviews came to us courtesy of our good friends over at HCAM in Hopkinton. So let's give you an opportunity now to learn a little bit more about some of the candidates on the primary ballot for Governor's Council.
So the Governor's Council are councils that nominate judges to sit on the bench, but they also nominate parole boards, members, clerk magistrates, and they do pardons and commutation and other official positions such as notaries and justice of the peace.
When the governor wants to appoint somebody to be a judge, the nominee gets sent to the Governor's Council. It's the Governor's Council's job to ensure that the person is qualified, has the right demeanor, is a good fit for the bench.
It's a very important body of government that is elected that vets and votes on judicial appointments for attorneys seeking to be appointed as judges.
Not a lot of people do know too much about the Governor's Council. So the Governor's Council appoints judges, clerk magistrates, parole board appointees, industrial accident review board appointees, decides on pardons and commutations, also decides on notaries and justices of the peace. So there's a bit of a laundry list of appointments and decisions that they consider. Primarily, the decisions that they consider involve the legal system. So that's the criminal legal system, it's the family legal system, the civil system, judicial detention system, all of those things. And the decisions that they make impact everybody, and it's a little hard potentially to see how they impact everybody. But it's very important that we appoint people who are not only committed to the freedoms that we hold as important today, for example, women's reproductive rights, LGBTQ plus rights, but also to have sort of a growth mindset so that we grow into the future and we expand conceptually to make sure we're protecting everybody's human rights equally.
My professional experience is I'm an attorney. I've been a litigator for 10 years. I've been in front of a lot of good judges and not so good judges. I'm a first-time candidate for office. I didn't run for office before. It's my first time. But this position is important because the judiciary is the backbone of our democracy, and we really have to ensure that the judges that we get appointed to these positions are good matches.
So I started my career in homelessness services, and interacted a lot with the systems that serve people with substance use disorder, mental health struggles, judicial struggles with the criminal legal system, housing, transportation, food security struggles. So I learned a lot in Boston and Cambridge about the needs that a lot of people face and how easy it is for people to inadvertently get tangled up in the criminal justice system and not be able to sort of separate them. So I am really looking forward to having an opportunity as part of the vetting process to both challenge, and I use that word in a very constructive way, challenge candidates, but also inform candidates or learn together about ways that we can potentially rethink our system and do a better job not incarcerating, for example, people with substance use disorder needs and getting them into treatment. So as a social worker, that's really what I do a lot of, is systems building for substance use disorder treatment. And there are a lot of pathways to help people.
I'm a mom first. I'm a public servant in the community. I work as an associate probation officer out of the Trial Court of Massachusetts. I have a master's degree in criminal justice and leadership from Northeastern University. And, I spent decades of working alongside of judges, police officers, clerk magistrates, police officers, police prosecutors, and the assistant district attorney's office. I worked for the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office as well. And I also work with a domestic violence shelter that services women and children who have been impacted by domestic violence. That is my experience. I ran before for political office twice, in 2020 as well as in 2022. We know that it's hard to beat an incumbent, but I was running as state representative within my district, and I was running against a state representative that's been in office for 30 years. So I have some political experience, but since this district for governor's council is open, it is the reason why I'm running, based on my experience, my personal experience, as well as my career, working alongside judges every day. I work in different courtrooms within the last 10 years. I have worked in juvenile court, veterans court, substance abuse court, mental health court. This has provided me the experience that I need to run for this particular position.
I knew I always wanted to be an attorney, and I've been a busy trial attorney since the 90s. When I was a young lawyer, I was working as a public defender. It was when we had a Republican Governor Mitt Romney in the State House. He was sponsoring a program to essentially cut the funding for public defender representation. So I found myself getting politically active within the legal field, running into the State House to fight the administration on that issue, which we were successful. And from there, I became president of the Plymouth County Bar Association. And then in 2008, I was recognized by Governor Deval Patrick and appointed to a board called the Judicial Nominating Committee, or the JNC, which is where this process of judicial appointment begins.
Probably my primary goal, probably the thing that brought me to it the most, was elevating the voices of folks that are affected and impacted by the decisions that judges and clerk magistrates and parole board appointees make on a daily basis. So I would love to make sure, we know that people from disadvantaged social circumstances, people with substance use disorder, mental illness, people who represent as people of color or across the gender binary, for example, are overrepresented in our incarceration system. So I want to make sure that we talk about that and we begin to problem solve together how to make sure that we level the playing field, and the justice system really works the same for you and I as it should for everybody. I will promote diversity in appointments, not just race and ethnicity, but that's important, but also geographic representation, also representation across the legal field. People who are prosecutors and defenders, people who have worked in the civil courts, and so that we have a rich diversity of skills and talents, and that the judges, our appointees, represent the communities that we intend to serve.
My number one goal is to make sure that judges understand the community that they're looking to serve, in that they've worked in organizations, that they understand what mental health is, what the impacts of our servicemen as veterans go through in order to get back into a different environment in their community. They understand what substance abuse is, that it should be treated as a disease and people should not be incarcerated for a disease. Nominating judges and making sure that we are seeking to have them know and have judges be impartial and apply the law fairly. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that they understand it's a people's court, that they understand what people are going through.
Right.
And I see it day in and day out. We want to make sure that we get qualified judges that have the experience and that understands they are there to help people.
I want to ensure that we have good qualified judges. If you look at our system now, the legislature is politicized, the executive branch is politicized, and it should be. That's how elections work. When there's winners and losers, and the winners get to decide later on. But when it comes to the judiciary, I don't want to see it politicized. I'm a Democrat. I have democratic values, but I want my judges to be even keel. A good judge can take his or her bias, put it in their back pocket, and look at the facts and apply the law evenly to no matter who's in front of them. If you think about the judiciary, they're the great referees between the left and the right and everything in between, and we really need to make sure that they're very even-keeled.
I want to make sure that we have the best possible judges selected that have the right experience, that create the strong judiciary that sets us aside from, I hate to say it, but our federal government, where our federal judiciary has just decided to overturn Roe v. Wade. We want judges that are going to keep Massachusetts progressive and ahead of the rest of the country on important issues like a woman's right to choose. But these judges have to be experienced, well-written, smart, fair, reasonable, compassionate, but tough when need to be tough candidates. Given my broad experience, I know how to vet judges that have the right experience both in criminal, civil, housing, and labor issues that are going to affect people's lives in this community.
And so once again, just to remind everyone out there that the primary elections will be taking place on Tuesday, September 3rd. So coming right back off of Labor Day weekend, everyone will have a chance to go to the polls to decide those primary ballots. So make sure you head over to Milford's polling locations on Tuesday, September 3rd to make your voices heard in those primaries. But now let's move on to some sports here on the Milford Informer for this week. If you've been tuned into our social media platforms over this past week, then you've seen some of our teasers for our Milford High School football preview. Every year we have a chance to join the Milford football team during their annual media day to get our first look at the new captains and also have a chance to check in with head coach Dale Olson ahead of the high school football season. This year we did a little bit of a twist as we sent one of our very favorite volunteers, Eddie Huff, to participate in the interviews this year. Eddie was behind the mic talking to all of the players as well as head coach Dale Olson, putting his own unique spin on our Milford High School football preview. So you've seen some of the teaser clips this past week on our Instagram and on our other social accounts, but here is our complete Milford High School football preview courtesy of Eddie Huff.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Eddie Huff. We are here in the Milford High School gymnasium getting ready for the Milford football media day. Should be pretty exciting. Got some interviews coming your way. See, Andrew, tell me what it meant to be named a captain of this team.
It's a great honor. You dream of it growing up, and it's just something you want to do throughout high school, and to get it done, you kind of just want to take full advantage of it.
Right. Now, describe the off season. What were you guys doing to keep guys engaged, kind of maybe get guys to play and keep everyone improving and getting stronger?
Well, we've been having lifts since December, just trying to get guys stronger, get in the weight room, bigger, faster, stronger. Captain's practices, trying to get the younger guys to know the schemes and stuff, trying to get guys out, get our numbers up so we can have depth throughout the year, just doing all that kind of stuff.
Jack, tell me what it meant to you to be named captain of this program.
It was a great honor. I mean, this program's known around the state, and this town is just I feel like it's a football town, so it was a great honor to be out here and lead the guys and just be a part of the rich tradition that our other teammates were before us.
Yeah, so what do you think are the biggest strengths of this team coming into this season?
I'd say the biggest strengths are our returning guys. I mean, we got a lot of guys on the perimeter, a good amount of guys up front. we graduated 3 linemen, but we got 3, 4, 5 guys who can play for us this year. So, I mean, honestly, I don't think we're really going to skip a beat this year. I think we're going to be solid again.
Who do you think are some of the big name players this year to watch on offense and defense?
I'd say offense, of course, our quarterback, Jack. You know, Andrew Rivera is always a good player. Jason Stokes, one of our good receivers. A new upcoming name, Taylor and Sean, 2 pretty fast receivers that we have. And on defense, I'd say you got to watch out for Souza. Our end, he's pretty good. Got to watch out for all of our linebackers in general. And Stokesy, of course, out there at the corner. And our linemen are pretty good this year, too. Ryan Burns, you know, started last year for us as a sophomore. He's always good. And, you know, we got a couple new names maybe starting up on the line for us. And, you know, Kiko's younger brother, Will, at center, you got to watch out for him, too.
All right, now last question here. What did it mean to you to be named captain of this team?
You know, it always means a lot because this program has been, you know, to the Final Four the past 3 years, you know. So it's always been a good program, and I'm excited to lead it. Hopefully it can be even better than the captains last year. Really good captains, and, you know, I aspire to be just as good as them. And, you know, hopefully we can get over that hump of the Final Four and make it to the Super Bowl and win it all this year.
Anthony, what did it mean to you to be named captain of this program?
It's an honor to be captain of this program because over the past few years we've been such a successful team, and it shows how now I'm a leader of such a successful team. Shows that I've been putting the work in, and
Yeah. Anthony, you know, this team's had a lot of success recently, but last year graduated a lot of seniors, a lot of valuable seniors. Do you think this team is coming this year with a kind of new identity or new swagger almost?
No, we still got the same swagger. We got a lot of players that have been still working hard and do the same as the players from previous years, and we're going to be still playing the same game that you guys love watching.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm here with head coach Dale Olson. Kicking us off, Dale, looking back on last season, how do you think the team performed overall?
You know, I thought we had a great season last year. Program's been healthy since I got here, and you know, made another deep run to the Final Four last year, and it was a great year.
All right. Knowing that towards the end of last season, your team kind of had some terrible luck with injuries and illnesses, are the coaches and players in this program coming into the season with a chip on their shoulder, looking to finally make that Super Bowl berth?
I wouldn't say we're coming in this season with a chip on our shoulder. You know, we have high expectations here, and injury and illness, that's part of the game of football and any sport, right, in life. Thought our kids battled through it last year, and we still had a great year.
Can you tell me a little bit about how this year's captains have really stepped up and made a difference in the locker room, on and off the field, and just really keeping this team engaged and keeping these guys going?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guys that came before them, they learned from them. The guys that came before them, they learned from them. There's an expectation here in Milford on how we conduct ourselves on and off the field, and you know, it's a next man up mentality. I got 4 great captains this year. They've been doing a great job in the offseason leading this team, and like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, them leading us on the field here pretty soon.
All right, you've got another challenging schedule ahead of you this year, including 2 non-conference opponents that we haven't really seen Milford face off against recently. What can you tell us about this schedule?
Listen, since I got here, we're going to challenge the kids here in Milford to be great. And how do you become great? You got to go out and play great opponents. You know, Westfield was a Final Four team in Division III last year, and when we were looking for a game, I made a phone call out to him, right? So we're going to go play one of the best teams in Division III. We're going to play a talented Leominster team that used to be part of the Midwatch with Milford years ago. I've been trying to make that game happen for a couple of years. We finally made it happen this year. So, you know, we're going to go out and play a very, very talented Leominster team. And then, you know, Natick Wellesley, you know, very good Bay State programs, and that's our non-leaguers.
Right. Last question here, Coach. How confident overall are you that this is the year for Milford to finally make that Super Bowl push and bring home that trophy?
Listen, that's the goal, right? Our first goal here in Milford is to win game 1, and then to go win game 2, And at the end of that, we're hoping to win a Hawk League championship, and then we're trying to make a push towards Gillette and win a Super Bowl. We've been close here, and listen, it's great teams have an opportunity to do it, but even great teams don't always get there. You need the bounces to go your way. You need to be healthy and stuff like that. I fully expect this team to make a push towards Gillette this upcoming season, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Good luck. You're kind of known, among your sports as being like the glue guy of the team, kind of the go-to locker room guy. How are you looking to kind of keep that up and, keep the morality up and, make an impact on this team?
I'm just, I'm here in the locker room to support my teammates, my boys. Eddie Huff, I play lacrosse with Eddie Huff. Supported him all the time when he was on varsity as well. I'm just here to support.
Last year's offensive line, very, very strong, very talented. You play offensive line. How are you expecting to fill those pretty big cleats that were left by the offensive linemen last year?
I mean, it's all up to them mostly, to be honest. I'm mostly a bench rider, but hopefully get my shot next year, senior year.
Right.
I mean, make a name for myself.
Make a name for yourself. Who do you think? What's your prediction? Who is scoring the most tutties this year, most touchdowns?
Jason Stokes.
Bold prediction. Lock it in. Pretty strong defense returning this year. How are you looking to make the most impact you can out on the field?
I'm gonna try my best when opportunities come to me. You know what I mean?
I like that.
I played D end last year. I got a couple of reps at varsity, which I appreciated. Did my thing when I could. But now I'm playing inside linebacker, and I've never played before. So, hoping it's gonna be fun. Hopefully it goes well. So I'm just gonna do what I can, learn how to play, and just get after it.
All right. You got KP coming in here this year. What are you expecting out of this team and out of this program? What do you think? Do you think we got what it takes to conquer them this year?
100%. I think if you don't think that, then that's the first step in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? So I think we always have a chance with every team, and I think no matter what, we'll be able to just perform, no matter who it is.
And what are you expecting from the fans this year?
Everything. They're gonna be rowdy. I can't wait for it. It's awesome. The atmosphere at it's like one of the biggest things at football games. Atmosphere. It's great. Love it. So hopefully it goes well. Yeah.
5 minutes before the game starts, chilling in the locker room. Last song you listen to before you head out to the field?
Stairway to Heaven.
Before the game, the whole team listens to Stairway to Heaven.
I like that. Thank you. What song you putting on?
Stairway to Heaven.
I love it. I love it.
My man.
All right, swag. I'll catch you. Is this the year?
I think this is the year.
Is this the year?
This is the year.
All right, thank you all for watching. This has been our Milford TV coverage of the Milford Football Media Day. Thank you all for watching, and I see you out there on the field.
I have a feeling that won't be the last time that you will see or hear Eddie as part of our sports coverage this season, as we hope to have Eddie back as a guest commentator, perhaps in this fall sports season and certainly later on in the winter for another exciting Milford High School wrestling season. But meanwhile, we have a busy fall sports season of coverage ahead here on Milford TV. And of course, once again, we want to acknowledge the Rail Trail Flatbread Company as our presenting sponsor for all of our sports coverage here on Milford TV. Rail Trail will be back with us once again throughout the duration of this Milford High School sports year. So let's now share with you our upcoming coverage for the month of September as we kick off coverage of football, girls and boys soccer, and girls volleyball with live coverage here on Milford TV. So you can see the schedule on your screen right now. We will kick off our fall sports season coming up next week on Tuesday, September 3rd with our first look at the boys soccer team as the boys will welcome in St. John's Prep. And then the following week, we will see two new teams debut on our Milford TV coverage. We'll have girls volleyball action against Stoughton on September 10th. And then on September 13th, the football team will return home for their first home football game of the season, taking on a very tough non-conference opponent in Leominster High School. That coverage will be live on September 13th. The following week, we will have girls and boys soccer action for you against Attleboro and Canton respectively, and then we will have our second football action of the season against another non-conference opponent in Wellesley High School. That will be on Friday, September 20th. And then to round out the month, more girls volleyball action against Mansfield on the 23rd. We'll have girls soccer back-to-back to close out the month as the girls take on Mansfield and Franklin on September 26th and September 30th. So again, that just scratches the surface on our fall sports coverage, as we'll have plenty more action for you throughout the month of October as well, including 3 exciting league home games for the football team in that October schedule as well. So make sure you stay close to our social media for all of our updates on all of our sports coverage throughout this fall sports season. And once again, you can not only watch all of our coverage live locally on our educational channel and our HD channel, but of course, you can stream all of the action live on our YouTube channel as well. And if you miss any of the games, they will be there for you on YouTube as well. So we're looking forward to a very exciting season of Milford High School football, soccer, and volleyball ahead here throughout this fall sports season. We look forward to bringing that all to you in the weeks ahead. But that's going to wrap things up here on this week's edition of the Milford Informer. We thank you so much for tuning in. And from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.